south door, but yeah.
Okay, so basically, once we deal with the first 3 golems, or do we want to keep the red one alive? Or
Yes, we keep it alive until we hear from slimes.
Okay. So what's gonna happen with the rest of the group is you guys are gonna, once we deal with the first 3 golems, leave the red one and then just focus on killing the golems that spawn on the north and south doors until we hear golems say, do they shout like?
Yeah,
ready?
They shout rupture.
Rupture? Okay. Once they shout rupture, then we
will kill the red golem.
Kill the red golem. Wait for the tank to pull the golem onto the pad, invuln, and then we kill the red golem.
Yeah. So
okay.
The golems change color with the skill Metamorpha. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that word since my brain cannot handle it. You will know it when you see it. It is interruptible. Interrupted only after
it's the only
it is matching.
Cast from the golem.
Yes, interrupted if it is already matching the color of the pad it needs to be.
Sorry, this is a bit scuffed because I've never led this before.
You're fine.
Does anyone have any questions? I hope I didn't miss anything. Does all the tanks know what they're doing? At least, if please speak up if you don't. Oh, okay. So white room. Okay, so basically your golem is gonna start blue. You're gonna let him cast Metamorph once. It will change to white, and then you want to interrupt all subsequent casts, so it doesn't change color again. So the blue. So like these are the colors they start from, and what that you see them right now. So each time they cast Metamorph, if they cast successfully, they will change color from blue to white to green to red. And you want to... yes. So you invuln, run into run. You can just, from the door, run straight down the room. And if there's a trap, it will pop it. If not, then you're safe. Yeah, so you just, once your golem changes to the same color as your pad, if you're not the red golem tank, then you can just tank the golem on the pad. And the group will kill the golems one by one, starting from blue to white to green to then lastly, once the slime side is ready, we'll kill red.
We'll be starting in the southwestern corner and moving counterclockwise.
So the golems that are sleeping right now, we're gonna imagine turning this like 90 degrees. It's not exactly matching to the room colors right now. So like your room, the white golem, is gonna be the southeast room over here, the white pad. Yeah, the pads are in the correct color right now, so you can see it through the walls.
Yeah,
did I answer
Highlander will be clearing red if I'm not mistaken.
Daniel?
Yep. So just make sure Highlander goes into the room before you.
Yeah. Okay, guess we're ready then.
Only one way to find out. If you have any more questions, do say so. And questions are perfectly fine. Questions are how we avoid wiping on slimes and golems. Otherwise, it seems golems are pog.
Okay. Do we do ready checks or just shout out golems ready?
I got it. Slimes is a bit more complicated, so they usually take a bit longer. We wiped on slimes 3 times the other day.
Every night I run. Every night I run a new DRS. Someone says that Slams is more complicated, and then the next night they say Golems is more complicated.
No, Golems is easy.
Oh,
no
and
one has a consensus.
Also, you don't have to. You shouldn't use any of your actions unless they have infinite use. You want to build your gauge, save it for the first boss after this.
But yes, do not dot the red golem. We need to kill the red golem at the correct time.
Yeah, we can DPS the golem down to around like 20%.
30% is usually agreed.
Okay.
Just to avoid
Something
any
like
mistakes.
that,
But yes, I'm not sure whether wiping on slimes 3 times is worse than dying to Queen Enrage at 0.1% like yesterday.
Okay, looks like their countdown is ready. We're gonna go in once the timer hits 0. Once again, tanks, make sure your stance is on. Provoke the golem when they come alive. And wait for Highlander to sweep the hallway first. Okay, tanks go. Sweep your rooms. Second golem in blue. Which tank is that? Okay. Start from the blue one. Oh, green golem is loose. Do we have a tank that can provoke it? Are we on the green one right now? Yeah, so pull the golem onto the pad and kill it.
I need heals on the hallway. Any healer can just throw it to Violet, please. I'm very close. Thank you.
Yes, we have some healers. Healers should be healing the hallway tanks. Don't really need a healer for red room because the tank's hiding. Yeah, do not dot red golem. DPS should be focusing on the ads in the hallway. Don't worry too much about red. Oh yeah, so everyone tank train pop invuln, put the golem on the pad, everyone kill red golem now. Okay, everyone kill the ads, the hallways. Let's get some res if possible for the dead. Yeah, do not jump yet. We have some dead. Did I not assign healers for the tanks? That was my bad. Oh, I see.
Hey, Golem side, what's up?
We had some dead.
Oh, 3 dead. Okay. I'll let you guys sort that out.
Is everyone back up on the different parties? Alright, everyone can move back up to Slime's chat.
Boss relative. So, for instance, if Elf is the boss, can you stand up, Elf, so people can tell which way you're facing? Okay, if Elf is the boss and they are facing this way, and I would say if the safe spots are on the right, and then the left, I would say right, left, and it would be on the right for 2 hits, and then on the left for 2 hits. Other options might be something like back, front, back, in which case I would be on the back for one. Be on the back for 1 hit, be on the front for 2 hits, and then be at the back for 1 more hit. These are going to be short movements directly across the center of the boss's hitbox, so don't get too far out from the hitbox, and then you can make a short, quick movement. These short hits do come out a lot faster than in normal mode, and you need to be moving in anticipation of the telegraphs in order to not get hit. So be close to the boss's hitbox center so that you can make a short movement to get across. Other important callouts are sand and stone. If I say stone, I mean this color that I'm jumping on right now. If I say sand, I mean this sand-colored sand right here that I'm jumping on now. Other calls will involve these barriers. We need to be either behind or in front of these barriers for various calls. So if I say line up with the 3 barrier, that means stand near the 3-way mark, so that you can get knocked back into the 3 barrier. If I say get behind the barrier at B, that means run behind this barrier and stay here until the related cast finishes. If you poke your head out early, you will get 1 shot. That's about it for call explanations. Everything else is done on the fly as the fight happens. This is an enraged fight, which means we want to use our food, we want to use pots, we want to use our lost actions. We need to put out enough DPS to kill the boss before it is guaranteed to kill us. This is also better accomplished if you are up, alive, and swinging still. So if you need to lose a step or 2 in your rotation in order to do a mechanic and stay alive, that'll still be a DPS gain over greeting and dying. Make sure to do mechanics. We're here to learn those. And then do damage to the boss. Or so that you can do damage to the boss. If you're ready, go ahead and step across the purple line. I already told this slime side, but golem side, welcome up here. And we are having Elf as our main tank for this. If you are not Elf, make sure your tank stance is off. There are 2 types of tank busters in this fight. One is a shared buster where tanks will need to stack with Elf. The other is a solo buster where everyone needs to be away from Elf. So Elf is conveniently marked with a no-no marker. If I say get away from Elf, then get away from Elf with the no-no marker, or you'll kill yourself and Elf, and we'll all be very sad. Alright, I see everyone across a marker, so Elf, go ahead and get us a 30-second countdown on the board. And we should be good to go. The boss will open with a raid wide, and then we'll go and do immediate 4-fold mercy after that. So, be ready to push buttons, be ready to do mechanics, use your lost actions, and try not to die. Alright, raid wide's coming out. We're getting friendly clone dropping by. This is the only friendly clone of the fight. The others will do main mechanics. Then we're getting right into a 4-fold mercy, so be ready to move for that. Our first pattern will be left, left, right, right. Stand on the boss's left for 2 hits, then move straight across the center to the right for 2 more hits. Then we'll have a grid pattern after. Left, left, right, right. 1 hit. Move now. Look away from the orb at 2, 3, and then dodge the grid and the flower. Stack up back on the boss. Get in tight inside the boss's hitbox. Inside the boss's hitbox, there'll be a hot wing coming out. Alright, stay stacked. We're going to get chains to break. No, it is tank stacks. Tank stack first. Tank stack with the main tank. And solo buster. Solo buster, everyone away from the main tank. Everyone behind the boss away from the main tank. Stay grouped up, because we'll get chains next. Along with a knockback or hide mechanic, I think. Yep, wait for these chains to pop and then spread and break your chains and get behind a barrier. Get behind a barrier now, behind a barrier now, behind a barrier now, behind a barrier now. Safe to go back on the boss. We are getting clone mechanics. These clones will be doing Ifrit style dashes across the arena, rotating around the arena to avoid them after we see where they start. We are starting near 4, start near 4-way marker and rotate around the arena. Then we are getting in front of a barrier, get in front of the barrier at 1, in front of the barrier at 1, in front of the barrier at 1. Back on the boss. Raid wide coming out. We're getting in a line, nice work. And then we are getting line AoEs coming from some clones. Stay grouped up in order to bait these lines. And then just walk out when you see orange. Walk out of these lines. And then stand on stone, stand on stone, stand on stone. We'll be getting 2 more sand or stone hits after that. They'll be paired with Earthshaker mechanics. Earthshakers are tethers that need to be rotated around the center away from the party. If you get a tether, rotate around the center away from the party. The boss will do another sand hit next. Be on sand, be on sand. If you have an Earthshaker tether, rotate it away from the party around the center. One more sand or stone hit with more Earthshakers. Be on stone, rotate Earthshakers away. Get out of these lines. And then we are needing to be boss relative inner cardinal next. Be boss relative inner cardinal, boss relative inner cardinal. Boss is rotated kind of funny, so be careful. Back on the boss. We are getting Ifrit dashes into a 4-fold mercy. These will be the same dashes we saw earlier, followed by an immediate 4-fold mercy. Be ready to run around the arena to dodge dashes. Start at 1, start at 1. We are getting an ugly pattern. We are going back, front, back, back, front, back on the boss. Be behind the boss, 1 hit. Go to the front, go to the front, go to the front, 2 hits. Go to the back, go to the back, go to the back. Look away from the orb, look away from the orb. Dodge grid and dodge lines. That was a gross pattern. Stack up, break chains. If you died and got back up, pop a re-razor. Break those chains, break those chains. We are getting sand or stone next. I think. Nope, Solo Buster. That's what I'm forgetting. Alright, now we are getting sand or stone with 4-fold mercies. We'll have 1 sand or stone hit, then 4-fold mercies, then another sand or stone hit. We are standing left, right on the boss. We are starting on stone, start on stone. Boss's hitbox is stone, left, right. Once you run through and on sand. Run through and on sand and on sand and on sand. There'll be 1 more sand or stone hit after this. And then we'll do grid pattern with the orbs. Stand on sand again, watch the orb. Orb is at 4, orb is at 4. Dodge this grid and then dodge the line AoEs. Stack up on the boss again for chains. Or for raid wide. We are holding LB2s until after a mechanic. If we get close to 5%, we might need to hold DPS as well. So wait for that call. Get inside the boss hitbox, inside the boss hitbox. That's Howie again. Sorry about that. That call. Alright, we are getting a clone doing offset 4-fold mercies. We are holding yes at 5% so that we can get LB3s and pick people up off the ground after this mechanic. Get knocked into the barrier at 1, get knocked into 1, get knocked into 1. Then we are going right, left on that clone. Get knocked into 1, then stand right, left on the clone. Hold DPS until after this mechanic. Right, left. Cross now. Stack up for chains. Break your chains. Once you break your chains, healer LB3. Once healer LB3s are out, then everyone burn the boss. Raid wide. And kill the boss. Nice work.
We had a DC, so no LB for us.
All right. If some healers are arising, our Red's protocol is to have one healer cast a rise at a time, stand on the body that you are rising, and then take turns so that you're not overlapping those arise casts. There are traps up ahead, 6 traps total. Winter, our duelist, is finding those for us. And just died.
A first try.
Please do be careful sweeping those traps.
A double first try.
Nice work.
It's okay,
All
I'm
right,
already on
none
my
of us-
4th rise.
None of us are taking that golden duelist pad except for Winter Sora, our duelist. The rest of us are avoiding traps and running to the Dahu arena, but not going into the Dahu arena. Winter Sora's party can stand near Winter Sora by the duelist pad in order to buff him as directed. The rest of us are staying outside of Dahu's arena until the duel has started because it.
Hello, Highlander. I died perceptive. Like an asshole. Overly nervous. No. Oh, let me. I think that was the plan. Violet said if I walk in and like hit it with one ability and pop my excellence, and then immediately reslot it to spell. Isn't there a trap here? Oh no, it's... Yeah, it's... Okay. Alright. You see my screen? Ready to go? Okay. So be as close. Oh, let me pop my. Oh my god, dude, no way. Oh. That's so unlucky. There was a row in front of me. Oh. Well, I appreciate you helping me. Thank you. If anything, I'm a little bit more comfortable with the beginning part. I was supposed to pop it. Oh, well, I can't, right? Because I can't pop it out of combat. Okay. Alright. Thanks, Highlander. I might need you if we, go back in.
Use lost actions for this fight. Save those charges for the fights that matters. There are circles to dodge. Go ahead and dodge all the circles. The boss's hitbox likes having circles in it. He will dash twice across the arena, don't be in front of the Dahu, and then he will do a large 90-degree conal, don't be in front of the Dahu after the second dash. Don't be in front of the Dahu. Alright, we're pulling Dahu back to the center of the arena. We'll get line AoE lions on the side of the arena. They'll start doing line AoEs. Dahu will also do left-right shockwaves, which will be semicircle AoEs. See the first one, go ahead and go into it after it's done. But first, spit flames. Go ahead and take those to your markers and hug a lion. Make us some safe spots. Get out of the shockwave and go into where the shockwave just hit. Go ahead and get knocked into a safe spot. Line yourself up to get knocked into it. There'll be 5 of these conals rotating. Where the second conal hits will be safe after it hits. So you can go ahead and stand where it just hit for a safe spot for the rest of the mechanic. Alright. We are getting ad phase next. Alpha is going to spin around these lions and group them up. We are going to AoE them down in order to help keep Alpha alive. Help keep Alpha alive, spin those lions around, and AoE everything dead. And please heal Alpha. Alright, back on Dahu. We're getting more lion AoEs, we're getting more circle AoEs, we're getting more left-right shockwaves. Dodge all the bad. Spit flames are going out. If you get a marker, go ahead and hug a lion. Make sure we get markers north and south. If you are a tank and get a flare, get knocked to the south. If you are not a tank with a flare, get knocked north. Flares south, non-flares north, get knocked to a safe spot. Who will do a left-right shockwave next after this conal stuff. It's doing rotating conals again. Once again, 5 spits. Where the second conal just landed is safe for the remainder of this. Now he'll be doing a left-right shockwave next. Followed by a dash across the arena, which might be followed by either another dash or an immediate conal, if he lives that long. Alright, healer protocol for our dead. Grab your chest, and we are moving on to the next boss. Unfortunately, our duelist did not complete the duel. But sure they'll get it next time. It's pretty easy to let your nerves get to you when you're trying the duel for the first time, but we do like seeing more people try the duel. So if you're interested in doing that, there are plenty of successful duelists on the Discord who will be happy to give you tips and pointers and point you in the right direction for preparing for that duel. And then you can volunteer to try it on a future run if you are interested. Oh, right. We need a couple of tank roles for this fight. We need a co-main tank for Elf. We need, not on A or B, those are for different roles. And we need Aurasphere tanks 1 and 2. We need 2 Dispellers over at D. We're going to have 3 is going to be our marker for tank number 2. We are also going to need reflectors. If you have reflect, we are going to have orbs in the last phase that need to be reflected. I'll put up a diagram to go over that. Basically, the diagram there is showing all of the spots where orbs will be spawning in the last phase of the fight. Those red orbs are Auraspheres, which are what these tanks at A and B and 1 and 2 are dealing with. Aurasphere tanks 1 and 2. Aurasphere tanks 1 from each set will be taking the north and south Auraspheres respectively. So Link Spark and Astral Karna are north and south Aurasphere tanks 1. So in the first wave of orbs, they will be having their stance on making sure they are top enmity list on the Auraspheres. Everyone will burn down the Auraspheres so that they do not start casting randomly targeted insta shot or insta kill mechanics on us. So killing the Auraspheres is a priority. They will then do 1 guaranteed insta kill targeted on whoever has top enmity, so it needs to be the tank so that they can invuln it. Meanwhile, Aurasphere reflect spears need to be reflected. Those are in the black and blue locations. There will be spheres in those locations that will do an AoE for 2 pulses. One of those 2 pulses for each sphere needs to be reflected, either the first or a second. So any one person can cover 2 spheres because there are 2 pulses. If they survive those 2 pulses and are not reflected, they will explode, dealing damage and giving us all a damage down during a part of the fight where it has an enrage. So, if you are from Golem side, that is parties D, E, and F, you are in charge of making sure that south spheres are reflected. If you are on Slime's team, that is A, B, and C alliances, you are in charge of making sure north spheres are reflected. If you have reflect or if you have light curtains, you can hop into a sphere AoE with reflect up and burst that orb so that it doesn't burst us. That is, once again, for the last phase of the fight, there will be 2 sets of Aura Spheres and 2 sets of Reflect Spheres that come out in waves. The first wave will be first and pulse twice. The second wave will happen later and will also pulse twice for the reflecting orbs. If you're using light curtains or reflect actions, please be aware that those are both GCD actions, so make sure that you have your GCD up in order to cast reflect at the proper time. Don't get caught expecting to be able to weave it, because you cannot. Moving on, thank you, Rosa. Back to the top of the fight, we'll just group these guys up and AoE them down. And then we'll go into our next phase, which will be the Warrior and Knight. That involves the diagram Rosa just posted for us, which is Sword Omen and Shield Omen. At a certain point, 2 points during the fight, the Knight will pick an Omen type and then dash across the arena, resulting in a large AoE, either at the end of its travel for Shield or in the center of the arena for Sword Omen. Meanwhile, we will be having to get to bombs that the warrior has placed. The size of the bomb you need is determined by whether or not tethers have gone out. The basic rundown of that is double tethers or no tethers go to large bombs. Everyone else goes small. So double or nothing go big. I will be calling out which bombs the tethered players should go to, and followed by which bombs the non-tethered players should go to in that order. The Shield Omen also has a knockback, so you need to get knockback about 45 degrees from the center of the arena towards the side of the arena that the knight is coming from, because as you can see in the diagram, there will be a large circle AoE on the side of the arena that the knight dashes towards. You do not want to be caught in the AoE, or you will get a doom stack. I didn't mention this earlier, but all stacks towards doom are also damage downs, so please try to avoid those. That is why I emphasize doing mechanics, because you'll do more damage if you do mechanics rather than if you greed for uptime. In the third phase of the fight with the soldier and the gunner, we will have a Mustadio mechanic. Mustadio mechanic is the show your hole mechanic from Orban Monastery, or that you might have seen in Sadnor CEs or other locations. 3 sides of your person will be lit up with yellow danger quarter circles, and the last side will be a open hole that is your strong side. Show your hole or strong side towards the gunner, and then towards the turrets on the side. Turrets will be alternating from the east and west side, and there is a bit of overlap, so make sure to look down towards the side and line yourself up with only 1 turret for the second hit. Once again, you spin your open side towards the dangerous spots. Make your Pac-Man eat the bullet or show your hull, however you want to think about it. During that phase, it is okay to completely ignore damage and just focus on learning that mechanic if you are new to it, because it is short and will not be that much downtime. Alexa, clear comms. But also, yes, wiggle check. I didn't quite make that out the first time, sorry. Yeah, that's about it. Last thing we need to go over is Spellforge and Steel Sting. If you brought Spellforge and Steel Sting, this is the fight it is for. We will need to pre-apply it before the fight starts. All physical classes will need to start with Spellforge. All magic classes will need to start with Steel Sting. So casters and healers start with yellow, everyone else start with purple. We will need to, depending on which damage type the bosses pick, we will need to turn off one of the other damage types. So there is a macro that you can use for this. I'll post it in Raid Chat 1. Oh, you don't need the first line. Mine just pulls double duty. Anyway, you can put that in your on your hotbar if you want it just to be clickable instead of having to click off your debuff itself or your buff itself, because the bosses will pick a damage type and they will not take damage of the other type. So we need to be either doing all magic or all physical damage for that phase of the fight, which will be in the warrior gunner phase, or warrior soldier phase, sorry. So at this point we are just about ready, except I did not get a second main tank, did I? And I only have 1 Dispeller. Alright, I need 1 more Dispeller to go stand with Sagra and cast a spell on the warrior for us. And I need a second main tank to tank the other boss that Alpha's not tanking. Come stand on 3. Highlander, are you volunteering for that, or are you just running around? Okay, you are. Thank you, Highlander. Alright, does somebody have waymarks for the fight?
The only waymarks I have for here are the meme ones.
Yeah, same. That's the important thing. Yeah, Violet, that's why I don't have markers for this, is because I have full of other ones, basically. And you only get 5 slots, which isn't enough. Alright, we are stepping across the purple line. I need tanks with tank stance on in front of each of these mammoths. We are using food, we are using pots, we are using lost actions. This is an enraged fight. Step across the line. If you're ready, you can walk on all the way up. As long as you don't hit the bosses, they won't hit us. So no need to be shy. Go ahead and get Steel Sting and Spellforge out at this time. Make sure everyone has those on fresh. And we are about to get started here. 30-second countdown is on the board. We are grouping these up. We are doing big damage and bursting them down to 80% by the time this first phase ends, if at all possible. They'll be doing 2 raid wides. Set Magi to Earth, you know. Alright. Group these up. In the middle, use your last actions, use your burst openers, burn them down. One raid wide. Probably one more raid wide. Coming out now. Bosses are gone. Tank stance off unless you're the main tanks. Go ahead and start hitting bosses. They need to be killed at the same time, so try to keep their health relatively even. I'll be keeping an eye on that. We need yellow. Click off yellow, keep purple. Click off yellow, keep purple. If you have a hybrid class in your party, go ahead and apply the opposite to them of what they started with, if they need it. First mechanic will be an omen from the night and bombs. We're getting a sword omen, so be at the outside of the arena. When you find your bomb at the outside of the arena, far outside. Tethers are going to small, non-tethers big. Tethers small, non-tethers big. Do not be in line with the night. Stand at the all far outside of the arena. Nisa, get outside, get outside, get outside, 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 outside. If you drop first, go to an explosion that already happened, otherwise, and then get back on the bus. They are relatively even. Good work. Warrior is boosting. Dispel Warrior now.
And
Dispel
dispelled.
Warrior. Thank you. Don't need to call it out. Just do it. Raid wide. Next mechanic will be tethers to wind, non-tethers to lightning, followed by a move from the night where we need to either hug it or get cloak far from it on the safe side, depending on sword or shield. Once again, tethers to wind, non-tethers to lightning. If you have a tether now, you're going to wind. Otherwise, go to lightning. Then we are getting hugging the night afterwards. Hug the night and then find the safe quadrant without a talon or french fry. Get to the night, and then go to the side without a french fry. Alright, back on the bosses. Dispel Warrior. Raid wide coming out. Dispel Warrior now. Dispel, dispel, dispel. Brace for impact. Alright, good dispel. Warrior is high. Please focus damage on the Warrior. Tank buzzers coming out. Alright, they're even back up. Please keep them even. Bit more damage on the night, more damage on the night. Try to kill them at the same time. Click off purple, need yellow. Click off purple, need yellow. Make sure maintains have the correct type. And kill both bosses. Good work. Alright. Gunner to the center, soldier to the wall, and let's get to it. First mechanic will be fireball frogs. 4 fireballs will spawn. Small ones will make a safe spot between them after they turn into frogs and hop around the arena. The small fireballs will be the frogs that jump second after they turn into frogs. Small fireballs are starting north and south. They will turn into frogs and jump second. After the fireball AoE, we will be doing the Mustadio mechanic, so be prepared to point your hole towards the gunner Go to the south, go to the south, go to the south. Center of the south will be safe. Point your hole towards the gunner in the center. And then towards the turret on the side. After, wait, center, 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 and then side. Sorry, I called that early. All right, back on the bosses. This will be a tank buzzer. It's a bit late on that call. All right, raid wide coming out. Next mechanic will be turrets. Main tanks will be picking up these turrets and involving keeping top aggro and involving the sniper shot mechanic that they do. Everyone else will be burning down the turrets. Main tanks, pick up your turrets when they come out. Pick up turrets now. Everyone burn down the turrets. Involve sniper shot now. And kill the turrets, everyone. Good work, back on the bosses. Raid wide coming out. The HP is even, nice work. Next mechanic will be a pyretic or blizzard effect. Pyretic effect, sheath your weapons, stop moving, stop casting, stop attacking. Wait for pyretic to fall off. And back at it. Next up, we will have another set of Mystania mechanics paired with clone soldier AoEs. The tethered clones will be unsafe. The non-tethered clones will be safe. All clones will jump twice.
Yeah, soldier high.
North side is safe. North side is safe. The north clone is safe. Point your hole towards the gunner. And then towards the turrets on the side. Go ahead and kill them both. Raid wide coming out. Alright. Aura Sphere tanks be ready. Golem side in the north, slime side, or golem side in the south, slime side in the north. We're going to kill the Aura Spheres first. Reflectors, do your reflecting. And then focus on those wards. Kill the Aura Spheres. Aura Sphere tanks, make sure you have aggro on that. Focus on those wards. Do not get reflected by those parries. We missed a reflect sphere. So just try and pick that up on the next time. Watch for the reflex. Back on the enemies. Second set of spheres coming out shortly. Spheres are out. Go ahead and reflect. And kill the Aura Spheres. And burn down the wards.
LB?
LB3s, yes, LB3s, LB3s, LB3s. If you got them, sorry, I forgot about that because my party does not have them. My bad, waiting on that call. All right, we have a couple people to pick up. And only have one chest. If you died, go ahead and pop a re-raiser. Alright, we have a couple people that need to reset their stuff. Amane, if you could wait to reset until after you've been picked up, that'd probably be the best. Yeah, there are no traps for this area. Alright, everyone's up. We are going down to the Phantom Arena. There are a couple people that need to AFK momentarily. Alright, for this next boss, we are picking left or right and going around the outside of the arena so as to not early pull the boss. On these sides, we'll have a safe side, the other side will not. We are basically just gambling to see which side will be the uptime side and seeing who is right. At this point, all tanks should make sure to have their tank stances off except for the main tank, Elf. Thank you for the waymarks. Hang out near D or A. Pick which side you think will be the uptime side tonight. We still have at least one FK. This boss does not have enrage, so we can save lost actions. However, if you are short on charges, like have just 1 or 2 left, and are going to, we should be replacing those before the next boss, so you can burn any extra charges that'll be being overwritten by fresh ones anyway on this boss if you want. Alright, we had a couple people AFK. Let's just get some quick ready checks out. A is ready. B is ready, D is ready. Waiting on 1 and C, thank you. C is now ready, waiting on E and F. E is ready. F is ready. Slexia, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry.
Incredible.
Sure. Alright,
Incredible.
yeah, but I'm not sure how that's applicable to the other thing. Maybe that means I'm too straight. I don't know.
Yeah, you are. It's okay.
Yeah, it happens. Anyway, we're gonna fight this boss. Alf, go ahead and give us a countdown. I saw that early poll. We're getting a raid wide. And then we're seeing who is right. A or D will be the uptime spot. It is A. A was correct. Congrats to everyone who is at A. Everyone else get over here. We're walking our donut down. Please keep all hands, arms, and legs and tails inside the donut until it comes to a complete stop without overrunning into the death ball. It moves fast. Try to keep up. The dots on the floor show where the centers will be. Once again, watch that death wall. Do not run into it. We are going to go to 2. We are hanging out here while it picks another pattern. We are starting at 1. Start at 1. Start at 1. Wait 3 pulses and move to 2, move to 2. Where we are once again waiting for 3 pulses and then moving back to 1. And back to 1. Boss will be jumping away to do an ads phase shortly. Everyone will need to kill red whites unless you are a healer, in which case you'll need to heal whites. Wraiths. They're wraiths, not whites. Heal the whites, kill the reds. No, it was white with a W-I-G-H-T is what I was trying to say. I misremembered which fantastical spirit they're called. Last wave, kill these and then interrupt the boss. Alright. Some free damage until that cast was supposed to finish. Build gauge. We are getting another miasma pattern. We'll need to get knocked back from one side or the other if we do not kill the boss in time. We'll need to get knocked back. But not now. There are traps ahead. Do not run ahead. Rosa is percepting them for us. Do not be ahead of Rosa. I do not see any dead. Nice work, everyone. There are traps here that we need to not pop. If we pop some of these traps, we will not be able to complete the raid tonight. So please avoid all traps, especially those that look like bacon angels. If you're not sure what a bacon angel is,
Please don't run in
about to
front of
find
me.
out.
It makes me nervous.
The first trap's not up until here, but yes, please stay behind Rosa. Next one will be in the doorway, Rosa. Carefully go around this trap without popping it. There'll be more traps after the break. Including the bacon angel traps that we need in order to complete the raid. First trap will be inside the doorway. Carefully walk around this. This will instantly kill everyone near it if you touch it. And there's a bacon angels. And there's one more trap. Should be clear to go now. Thank you, Rosa. Alright, welcome to Trinity Avowed. I need to get a drink. I'll be explaining in a minute. Rosa, I do need you to do damage instead. We can have Tank sweep the other traps. So, slot some damage in. Alright, welcome to Trinity Avowed. We are slotting in fresh lost actions here. This is another enraged fight, and we are probably running low on charges. Tanks should be slotting in Lost Aether Shield for this fight for one of their actions, because all of those raid wides that this boss does hurt, and they have a nasty bleed. So all the extra mitigation from Aether Shield helps. So every time a raid wide is coming out, which is called Glory of Bazja, pop that Aether Shield if you are running Aether Shield as a tank in your party. If you are not the Aether Shield tank and the Aether Shield tank goes down, make sure you pop in Aether Shield so that you can take over. Alright. The name of the game here for this boss is Hot and Cold Mechanics. Get your temperature to 0 is the goal. The first three sets of mechanics we will see will be like normal. We will have a temperature and we'll need to use the mechanic to get that temperature down to 0. So get hit by what you need in order to neutralize your temperature. The second time we see the three sets of mechanics, we will have an extra wrinkle called the Elemental Brand. This will be an additional debuff that will hit your temperature with another shot of temperature after the mechanic resolves. So you'll get your normal temperature debuff on your debuff bar, you'll get your Elemental Brand debuff on your debuff bar, and you will need to figure out what you need to get hit by to make those cancel out. There is another diagram I like that does this. Let me show. Get a link for that. I'll post it in raid wide or in the raid chat. Basically, those are the brand debuffs. When you have in the second half of the fight, when you have the brand debuff, it basically turns into a get to the opposite of your brand game for the mechanic. So if you have the too hot brand, you want to end the mechanic at too cold so that when the too hot brand applies, it cancels out those too hot or too cold that you ended with. Similarly, if you got the one cold brand, you would need to make sure to end the mechanic at one hot so that the one cold brand cancels out the one hot. Similarly, if you got the one cold brand, you would need to make sure to end the mechanic at one hot. The name of the game is still reaching 0, but with the brand, you just need to make sure that you cancel out the brand so that the brand gets you to 0, because it is the last thing to apply. Let's see. Let's start going over the mechanics. The easiest mechanic is Meteors. Meteors, though, the first time we see it, will have a Force March. Force Marches will happen a couple other times during the fight as well. Force Marches move you 2 of these squares all around the arena. So if you're getting Force March, you'll go 2 squares unless you have Sprint or another speed buff up, in which case you'll go farther. So make sure that you don't have those up, or that you are aware of how far you will go if you have those up. First set of meteors will have no safe spots. You just need to get marched diagonally from the center to the meteor you need to cancel out your temperature. The second time we see meteors, there will be no forced march, but there will be clone AoEs coming from the sides, shooting in straight lines down the columns. Other mechanics are swords and arrows. Swords, there is a explanatory GIF in Raid Chat 1. If you have time to watch that video, it goes over the mechanics as well, but I'll also cover them briefly. Basically, we'll be using those numbered waymarks for the mechanics. One of those squares for each of the 2 sets of cleaves that the swords do in a row will be unmarked, or will be unhit, and will be safe. So the clones will be cleaving around that square, which means that each square cardinal of the safe square will be hit by only 1 clone and will be safe for resolving a temperature. So let's say if C was a safe square, if I am the too hot clone and I am pointing it with my sword in this direction to the east square immediately east of C would be cleaved only by too hot. So if you were too cold and needed too hot to cancel out your temperature, you would find the safe square at C, move 1 square over to the east where the too hot sword is being pointed by the clone in order to get hit only by too hot. If you were to run diagonal of C, you would still be getting hit by the too hot sword, but you would also be getting hit by whatever sword was pointed in this direction and instantly die because you're getting hit by 2 swords diagonal of the safe square. Diagonal of the safe square is always going to kill you, so only move in cardinal directions from the safe square once you find it. We'll be calling out who is, or where the safe square is for each of the 2 hits that Swords Phase has. Once you have resolved your temperature, if you resolve your temperature on the first hit, just hang out in the safe square for the second hit, because you won't be getting any additional temperature hits there. If that doesn't make sense to you, go ahead and ask questions, or just, it makes sense once you've seen it in action. So just try your best. The last mechanic is arrows. Arrow phase is the same as normal in that every arrow will take every left-right path it can take, but there are more turns. There are, however, only 2 maze patterns for this phase, which is the left side higher, right side higher diagram. You can see that the left side higher has the 2 squares that are formed by the pattern higher on the left side, and right side higher has them on the right side. If I have somebody who is good at calling those out, can I have a volunteer to call out left side higher, right side higher for me? Because I'm not good at that.
Alright, I guess it's me.
Okay. If you are confident you can call it, then go ahead and just say left side higher, right side higher when the pattern comes out. Would appreciate that to help out people who solve it that way. If you do not solve it that way, basically the other way to do it is just trace down with your mouse or just visually or with whatever. Grab a pen and some paper, trace it out. I don't know, whatever you have time to do. And just figure out which, your arrow will just take every left-right turn it can. So if you look at the diagram there, you can see how one gets to where it ends up, for instance, by taking every left-right turn it can and going all the way across on that left side higher diagram. Basically, that's about it. The second set of mechanics that we see in the second half of the fight will have some extra mechanics. Left side, or the arrow phase will also have a force march. There will also be some clones shooting from the sides. When we have the lava wave coming out before arrows, the first time we'll have a force march, the second time we'll not. Other than that, that's about all the mechanics. So if you are ready and have shell 2, step across the purple line. I see somebody has been handing out, at least one person has shell 2, so somebody had it out.
I have it if anybody needs it.
Yes, everybody needs shell 2. If you do not have shell 2, be outside the purple line. If you do have shell 2, step inside the arena across the purple line. And once you get it, move there so that it's easier for people handing out shell 2 to target you. All of the damage in this raid-wide damage.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah, once you get shell 2, step across the purple line into the arena so it's easier to target those who still need it. Please help your peers out that are... Yes, for the second half of the fight, when you have Brand, the Brand hits last. So solve the temp gauge to be the opposite of your Brand. So you're not solving your temp to 0 and then your Brand to 0. You're only get hit by the mechanic once, so you need to end the mechanic at the opposite of your Brand. So if you have a Brand that is too hot, you need to use the mechanic to end up at too cold. Sometimes it's possible that you'll start at too cold, in which case you would need to get hit by nothing. As for swords phase, you might need to use both hits of the swords in order to resolve to the opposite of your Brand.
I think that is everybody. Oh, one more.
Once again, if you have shell and are ready, step across the purple line into the arena so we can get started here. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them now. Otherwise, we're going to start a countdown shortly.
One second. Hillender's doing something.
Okay.
Yes, food check, everybody.
Yes, this is an enrage fight. This is a common sticking point for runs, so just do your best. Focus on mechanics specifically for this fight. Getting the hot cold right is important. And yes, the name of the raid once again is Glory of Bozja. Use your mitigation whenever you see that cast happening. I will be calling it out, or doing my best to call it out as it's coming out. Aether shields from the Aether shield tanks is important there because it gives you a heavy bleed. Welcome back.
we go.
Scouts Purple Line, if you're ready. Slugsy is here. Highlanders, they're here. Alf, are you here?
I think they said BRB at the start. There we go.
Okay, make sure you have food. Make sure your lost actions are ready and refreshed. Make sure you have Aether Shields if you are a tank. Go ahead and give us a 30-second countdown. We are using our lost actions. We are using food and pots. We are doing all the damage we can. And we are focusing on mechanics because staying alive is the best way to do damage. We're starting off with a shared tank buster, by the way. So all the tanks stack up in front of the boss. Alright, nice work. We're getting some raid-wide AoEs, so Glory, use your Aether Shield, sorry. Next up, we are getting some movements relative to the boss. We are first getting in front of the boss, Next movement will be away from the boss after they stop spinning. Away from the boss now. And back on the boss. Last movement will be behind the boss. Priest down behind the boss. We're doing Arrows Phase first. This means we'll be grouping over the center. We'll be getting forced marches. We'll be marching 2 squares to B or D to get out of the lava. Check your quick marches going out now. Check your quick march debuff and watch which side lava is coming from. Tank stack in front of the boss. Lava will be starting at B or D. Get quick march to the opposite. Get quick march to B, get quick march to B, line yourself up and get quick march to B. If you are in the lava still, do not pop a re-raiser until you get out of it. Rescue people if you can, if they pop back up. Check your temperature and find the arrow that you need to cancel it out when they come out now.
It's right side higher.
Thank you. Find the arrow you need and use it to cancel your temperature out. After this, the next cast will be Glory of Baja, so get ready with those Aether Shields and Mitigation. Aether Shields now, Aether Shields now. I have another boss movement, boss AoE soon. Get in front of the boss, Sword Phase next, in front of the boss. Boss will be untargetable during Swords Phase, so manage your cooldowns accordingly. Check your temperature. Be in the numbers. Be in the numbered squares now. Boss is going untargetable soon. Find the safe square, move cardinal of the safe square. The safe square is at 1. Safe square is at 1. Do not be diagonal of 1. Be cardinal of 1 by 1 square. Violet, you're in the wrong spot. Kick it. Goodbye. Second hit. Safe square is at 4. Safe square is at 4. Be cardinal of 4. Do not be on 2. 2 is death. Back on the boss. Next cast will be Glory of Baja. Be ready with those Aether Shields. Aether Shield now. Be away from the boss after they stop spinning. Back on the boss, we are stacking up in the middle for Meteor Phase next. Check your temperatures. Check your quick march. Get quick march diagonally to the meteor that you need. meteors are dropping now. Find the meteor you need, point your quick march at it, get march diagonally towards it. Back on the boss. Raid wide next. Ether shields now. Starting our second phase with arrows. There'll be a no quick march for this. Be behind the boss, be behind the boss, be behind the boss. No quick march for this lava, but there will be clone AoEs coming from the north and east. Check the north and east. Do not be in line with any clones. Be inner cardinal of the boss, and then go sprint towards Delta. Sprint towards Delta after these AoEs. Sprint towards Delta now. We are getting temperatures, we are getting brands. Neutralize your brand with the mechanic. We are also getting a force march. Get force march 2 squares to where the arrow you need is. You may need to get hit by the empty square instead of an arrow.
Right side higher.
Focus on your quick march and get quick march 2 squares. Raid wide coming out shortly. Ether shields now. Swords phase will be next, but first tank stack near the wall, tank stack near the wall. Be in front of the boss, be in front of the boss. Boss is pointed at the wall. Everyone careful of the death wall, but stack up tight near the front. So I should call for it to be put different.
LB is starting to come up.
Do not LB until after swords phase is done. Alright, temps are out, brands are out. You may need to get hit by both phases of sword and be near the numbers. Boss is untargetable shortly. First safe spot is at 2. Safe spots at 2. Do not be on 4. Do not be on 4. Do not be diagonal of 4. Or do not be a diagonal of 2. Second safe spot is 1. Safe spot is 1. Back on the boss. Ether Shield is the next on the next cast. LB2s now, or after the raid wide actually probably, but yeah, sorry, late on that call. LB3s now if you haven't already.
Healers
the boss, away from the boss, away from the boss. If both of your healers are down, mark yourself. Alright, temperatures are going out. Brands are going out. Get march, or there is no quick march. There are clones once again from the side, north and east. Watch the sides and sprint to the meteor you need. LB3s if you got them. Sprint to the meteor you need to neutralize your brand. Watch for the clones. Outside corners are safe. Be on the outside corners. Alright, nice work.
Yeah, Brands fucked us with the LB. Oh well. Yep.
Yeah, sorry. I was a bit late on the call to wait for the raid wide there. Alright, we have some dead to pick up. Grab your chest and then make sure that we have everyone up. We will be not running on ahead because we need to use those Bacon Angel traps. we'll be doing once we get people up off the ground. I see a lot of screaming in chat. What's that about? Anything in specific?
Probably
Or just
all
in
of D
general?
being dead.
Oh, the entire alliance is dead?
6, but still.
Oh. Elf, you did fine. Like.
Hey.
For a second. Yeah, like 1 second, like right at the end. Yeah,
Pay
I saw
those,
Farrell
please.
had it though. Nice work, Farrell. Beat me to it. With a good heads up play by Farrell. I managed to avoid Queen's Guard death, but yeah, I'm out of re-raisers too. Happens. I forced March clip one toe into the lava and I died. Is that everyone? Looks like that's everyone. Alright, if you're new, come ahead and follow the triangle. We go back the way we came a little bit. We're gonna go popped a bacon angel trap together. There's some tasty bacon, which will help us clear the raid. So if you're new, go ahead and group up near this bacon angel trap near the door. Step just up to the edge of it without popping it. We're going to go in on 3 once I see a group of us here. All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3, go in. And then sprint to the portal to the next area and then straight on through the grates ahead. We are going to find the secret boss in Savage version. I appreciate the use of the nice emote. Very nice work. Or new emote. Very nice work, everyone. Alright, gates open. We are going on down the stairs, but there are traps up ahead that we need a tank to sweep. So if you're not a tank sweeping traps, please stay back, because some of those traps are instant death. So if you're not invulnerable, you're going to have a bad time. Alright, let me know if those traps have been swept. It looks like people are sticking near the inside wall. So please stick near the inside wall, inside of Violet, and between Violet and the wall. And then down to the bridge. Thank you to whoever swept those traps for us. Alright, welcome to Minotaurs. This is the secret boss of DRS. If we don't kill this guy, then Queen just kills us right away. Which is why the bacon traps are important, because you need to be small to open the gate to get here. Okay. This boss is mostly an ads phase boss. The boss itself outside of the ads phase is relatively simple and straightforward. So we are going to focus on our ads phase, but first we need to assign tank roles for the ads phase, which, oh, fancy waymarks, thank you. I need tanks to stand on each of those waymarks in the back, and then one tank on the outside of each of those tanks in the back. So I've got Daniel is 1. Who's standing on B for me? Highlander is 3. Greater Stone is 4. Elf is 2. Alright, and then I see Dusk Romanov is sweeper for 1. Astral Karna is sweeper for 2. Fretwork is sweeper for 3. And Link Spark is sweeper for 4. Thank you. Elf will also be main tanking the main tank, or main boss as well. Alright, those are our tanks assigned. I'll be going over what they're doing momentarily. But first, I need some Dispellers to hang out on D and some Reflectors to hang out on B. If I could get at least one more Dispeller and 2 more, or another Reflector. At least one more Reflector. Like those just stand on the Reflect then. Alright. Yes, tank rolls are covered, Feral, but I just want you to be on the lookout to jump in if needed, because I know you're good at that. Yeah, okay, so we are going to go over Dispel and Reflect first, and then we'll go over the tank rolls. So, during ads phase, your Reflectors and Dispellers will be hanging out in the center ring. If you see all the light tile on the floor during ads phase, all the dark tile will turn into death wall, and all of the light tile will be safe to walk around in, except for when it's not, when other mechanics happen. But those of you in the inner ring will be dispelling Earth Spheres and then hitting them with an auto or your dot or whatever you can hit them with that's fast. In order to kill them right away, you need to dispel off their buff and then just tap them with something, and they'll keel right over. Reflectors will need to reflect Fire Sphere AoEs so that they kill themselves by reflecting off of you. If any of these orbs are not dealt with in a timely fashion, they will blow up and give all the raid ruin stacks. 2 of those orbs go off and everyone dies, and it's re-razor roulette time. So your job is very important. Make sure that those orbs get reflected, make sure that those orbs get dispelled, and make sure that they all die, so that we don't. Now then, tank rolls are going to be picking up each of the ads. The ads will spawn at cardinal directions, need to be pulled out to the ring, and they'll be marching clockwise around the arena. So if I were the tank at 4, which is, or 3, which is Highlander, I would start here at C. I would pull my ad with my range attack and provoke, and I would start kiting it around the arena all the way over to 4 before the next mechanic happens. The next mechanic is going to be Entrapment. During Entrapment, everybody needs to make sure that they are in one of these large cardinal direction notches, because everywhere else on the outer ring will be getting potential traps. They'll have a large yellow question mark AoE marker put down on it, and there'll be a trap placed in each zone. This is where the sweeper tanks come in. Each ad tank had a sweeper tank paired with it. They will be popping invul and running through where the traps just got put down after they get put down, and popping the traps for us. After they do that, you can continue to move about the arena as normally, while being mindful of the other mechanics. The other major mechanic is Fateful Words. Fateful Words assigns each player one of 2 debuffs. There is the Spaghetti debuff, which is a pull. If you have the Spaghetti debuff, you stand in an outside notch when Fateful Words is going to go off, which I will call out. Stand in the outside notch and get pulled to the inside notch. If you have the pushback debuff, which is the one without Spaghetti, then stand in the inside notch and get pushed back to the outside notch. So, once again, Spaghetti is a pull. The other one, the dude getting flung back, is a knockback from the center. So, Spaghetti on the outside, non-Spaghetti on the inside for Fateful Words. Otherwise, we will have baited circle AoEs. that will drop on players throughout the arena. So if you are not doing a notch mechanic, don't hang out in these notches because we want those notches safe for the other mechanics, such as Fateful Words or the last mechanic, which is Devastating Bolt. Devastating Bolt will just electrify the rings except for the notches. So if you see that AoE charging up, get into a notch and hang out there until the hit happens. While you're worrying about all these mechanics, you can also be DPSing down the ads. Speaking of these ads, everyone should be holding their burst for the ads. Once again, the boss itself is not very scary, and the ads are. The ads, if they punch you, give you a ruin stack no matter what, even if you invuln. So, if you get punched twice by an ad, you are dead. If the ads get too close to each other, they will speed up and start punching people really fast, and it gets bad very quickly. So, we want to make sure that our tanks are alive. We want to make sure that they are kiting around the arena in a methodical fashion without getting their ads too close together. And we want to make sure that everyone is killing the ads as fast as they can, so hold your burst for the ads phase and burst down those ads. Are there any questions? And yes, please remember to wiggle. I'm not seeing any questions, so if you're ready, step across the line into the arena. Tanks, make sure you're ready to do your tank jobs. Tanks that don't have tank jobs, make sure you're ready to back up the tanks that do have tank jobs. We need heads up plays if anything starts to go wrong in order to keep everyone up. Hold your burst for ads phase. And we want to save lost action charges for queens, but probably do use food for this fight. Because the quicker we get everything killed, the less chance there is for something to go wrong with ads phase. Alright, Elf, go ahead and give us a 30-second countdown. We're going to get started. Save your burst for the ads. Ads will come out and the boss hits 70%, so be ready for that. Alright, we are starting off with a tank buster shortly. After this tank buster, wait 1 auto attack, and then hit your knockback resist. Knockback resist now. Then there'll be 3 conals from the boss. Dodge the conals. And then get ready for ads phase because we are pushing the boss to 70%. Get out first, get out first, get out first. All the way out. And then ads phase. Ad tanks pick up your mobs. And super tanks be ready. When entrapment is going out, be in a cardinal direction notch. Be in a cardinal direction notch. Sweeper tanks, get ready to sweep, and sweep now. Fateful Words debuffs are going out. Check your debuffs. When Fateful Words cast is finishing, go ahead and stand in a notch. Stand in a notch now. Resolve your debuff. And back on the bosses. Get in a notch now. And go kill the bosses. For ads. I'm running the wrong way. Fateful Words debuffs are out again. They will not be starting right away. Go ahead and burn down these ads. Watch for baited circles and get in a notch for these lines. Get a notch, get a notch. Kill that last ad. Watch these baited circles. Debuffs will be resolving. Stand in a notch to resolve your debuffs. And back on the boss. Nice work on that ads phase. We are getting a raid wide next. If you get lightning circle AoEs, bait them to the outside of the arena. That sort of attack will repeat pretty often. Build gauge. Get out. Oh, get out, get out, get out, get out. Very far out. Away from the boss, away from the boss. Very large point blank. Back in. Wax coming out, I think, next. No, not yet. More rapid bolts. Make sure to build your cage for a big opener on Queen. And watch this circle that didn't get dropped outside. Watch the proximity marker. And then back on the boss for thwacks. You sprint if you have to get out of these. If you have dice, go ahead and try and use it if you're going to. Tank Buster, one auto attack, and then hit knockback resist. Knockback now. Dodge wax. Finish him off, make sure you built whatever gauge you can. Raid wide coming out. Boss is dead. Alright, grab your chest, and then we need to try and res people if you can. If you have lost arises and are dead on the ground, please let us know so that we can pick you up first. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 over here still. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think I've only done that with stance off when I use my elixir. Yeah, but that's good to note, Fratwork. Okay. Did anybody who's down have rises still? Mane has a mimic for it. How is everyone looking on arises? Overall, I see Precious said they have only one. CD user last. Amane Precious still has them if you need to reflect arise or mimic the arise. Or mimic off an empty one, yeah. The chance of Arise working is 10% only, and it only works for healers running pure Divine Essence. Alright, that looks like everyone's up. Nice work, everyone. Make sure to grab your chest. It gets you chest plate pieces. We are going to go on up to Queen. If you still have re-razors, make sure to apply them. Okay, I need to get some water really quick because I've run out. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back.
It was so quiet in here.
I need 3 tanks that have a true invuln, meaning Gunbreakers or Paladins. There are 3 tank busters. Each of these tank busters gives a very nasty bleed, a physical vuln up, and a doom that needs to be Asuna'd. If you have a true invulnerability, you can avoid all of that from being applied. So we like to make things simple for ourselves and cheese it with Paladin invuln and Gunbreaker invuln if possible. Astral will be leading us off. Feral will be taking one of the 2. Slexia, you are a black mage. I don't think that's going to work unless you brought excellence for it, in which case it will, but yeah, incense is also kind of required for that. Do we have one last one? Otherwise, we'll just have somebody take the last hit and get healed and cleansed. Alpha volunteer if we don't have another paladin, or so I can check the party list for that. Carol's already there. Aurolus, we are cheesing the tank buster. So, basically you would take the 3rd tank buster with your super bolide, because you would avoid getting the cleansable doom, the nasty bleed, and the fizzle up. Basically it lets us cheese the tank buster and make it a cakewalk. The boss positioning isn't very hard, so if you want to try your hand at it, I would appreciate it. So just come up and step on the 3 here, and we'll have you back cleanup. Yeah, no, it's fine. We are all about progging here, so we're happy to have you jump in. Actually, let's have you swap with Feral. We'll put you on 2, and then Feral on 3. Just back cleanup. So after Astral takes the first tank buster, I'll tell you when to Voke and take over, and then you'll just hold the boss until the 2nd tank buster, and then you'll invuln that. The name of the buster is Cleansing Slash. So as long as you super bolide, you'll before the cast goes off, then you'll avoid all the nasty side effects and just need to be healed up from bolide. The boss positioning is not very hard. There's no positionals and it resets itself a lot, so don't have to worry too much about positioning for this fight. Okay, what we also need for this fight for important roles is Dispellers. I want at least 4 Dispellers on D. If you had Dispel out already from the last fight, now's your chance to use it. Slexia, I know you're probably not running Dispel because you like doing damage too much, even though Black Mage can run Dispel. Yeah, if you... Okay, somebody can get me the super chest diagram in raid chat, or I'll grab it myself. Just scroll a lot. There it is. Alright, super chest is here. Dispellers, what you're doing is every time we get to Unlucky Lot, which is when the Queen's gauge reaches 100, she will have 4 self buffs that need to be dispelled. So once you see that, make sure that you are not going to die from a lightning orb and then spam dispel. Speaking of those lightning orbs, everyone will have to worry about those. You either need to dodge them or reflect them. We will need to have enough people reflecting them. Light curtains work. If you had extra space to bring light curtains, this is what it's for. Light curtains will keep you safe from lightning orbs if you pop them when the Queen's gauge reaches 100 and you hear the ding. Pop that light curtain, stand near an orb. If you do not have reflect or a light curtain, run away from the orbs until they are popped by our reflectors, because otherwise they will one-shot you, and if you re-raise into the lightning orb, the next pulse will kill you through transcendence. So make sure you run away from lightning orbs if you are not reflecting them. The other main mechanics are going to be chess and murder chess and super chess and relentless play mechanics. Relentless play mechanics will be variations of the Queensguard mechanics, doing a reprise for this fight. Highlander is our danger Dorito for this fight. Highlander will be solving the relentless play mechanics for us, and I will be trying to call them out as well. But some of the callouts are just going to be follow the danger Dorito and stand where he's standing. As long as he's standing in the safe spot, we'll be fine following him. For chess mechanics, I'll be calling out where to stand for murder chess. There'll be 2 phases of that, and it will also be a following the danger Dorito. For super chess, this looks complicated, but actually is less scary than murder chess. There will be 1 safe square to the north or to the south. We'll be doing everything relative to the safe square. We'll be standing on the far side of the arena from the safe square, and depending on the marching soldier patterns, we will have different safe spots to start in depending on the buffs you have over your head with dots. You will have 2 buffs with dots. Add them up together, find out if they add to 5, 6, or 7. That will determine where you need to stand in order to start and end the marches correctly. If you look at, say, the top pattern on the diagram in Raid Chat 1, where it says wall safe, you can see an example where 5s would start in the corner, 6s would start behind 5s on the white square, and 7s on the black square beyond 6s. Everyone would then march down that far column and then over to the safe square. You'll do 2 separate marches, one for the first set of dots on your buff, and the other second set ending in the safe square for the second set of dots on your head buff. If you overrun those lines, or if you overrun that number of dots, you'll get a glowing gash above your head. Just step back 1 square and you should be fine. There are a couple patterns I'll be calling out where people should be standing with help from any of my backup callers who know what they're doing, calling that out as well. If you mess up and start in the wrong square and are going to die to the mechanic, make sure you die in the safe square no matter what, which is what I will be emphasizing when that happens. If you die in the safe square, you can have a re-raise successfully go off. But if you die outside of the safe square and you re-raise, you'll get killed by the AoE that the safe square is safe from. So, end of the safe square no matter what. That's about it. So, if you're ready, step across the purple line, and we need Shell 2 handed out if anybody has that left in their holster or left out.
I got it. Organize.
Thank you. Go ahead and get Shell 2 on everybody if you need Shell 2. Step across the purple line out of the arena. Once you have it, get back in. And Elf, what's up? No, we're gonna have Tank 1 start off Elf. Which was Astral is going to start.
Good lord, am I the only one with it?
That's fine, we only need one person with it.
It's gonna be a hot second.
Yeah, that's fine. This is the last fight of the raid. So we are using food, we are using pots, we are using everything left in the holster. Tanks do need to still have Aether Shield active. These raid wides also hit really hard. And if we see soft and raids, you'll need to slot in your second Aether Shield in order to keep your Aether Shield buff up on your party. Greater Stone is warrior. We're gonna mark you. Did I? No. Yeah. Yeah, your 2 minutes will probably be coming up right around Super Chess, in which case hold them for after Super Chess. And just do a reopener after Super Chess. Second Super Chess afterwards is a pot reopener. I'll try to call it.
That is everyone.
Okay. Let's get our tanks up here. If everybody's ready. Raid wide is Empyrean Iniquity and God Save the Queen. Those are the Aether Shield raid wides.
Food check.
Yes, make sure you have food, make sure your actions are ready to go. Elf, are you ready? If so, step across the line, please. Alright, Astral is going to lead us off. If you have 12 minutes left, good. Yep, that is correct. So, we're putting 30 seconds on the board. I am proud of you all for making it this far. Let's go and get this clear. Alright, raid wide, either shields, mitigation. Murder chest is coming up. We are not going in the D column. We are standing safe and go to follow the Dorito, D, but outside of D. And then we are moving 1 square over. Yeah, 1 square over also. Okay, good work though. Cleansing slash invul now. Oh, Highlander had it. Okay, raid wide Aether Shield. Ash will be taking the second buster. This is first super chest. Check your head debuff. Check how many dots you have. We are going to the away from the safe square. Back is safe. wall is not safe. 5's on 1, 6 is behind them on white, and 7's in the square with the triangle. Everyone march down the 1 column, march down the 1 and 3 column. Do not overrun your head buff. If you have a slash, move back 1 square. If you have a slash, move back 1 square. Everyone end in the safe square no matter what. End in the safe square no matter what. Just run straight there. Then hold your deep. Then use your 2 minutes when we get out. All right, 2 minutes reopener. Will be a big raid wide, either shields and all your mitigation. We're going to get our first unlucky lot soon, which will be lightning orbs and dispel. Watch for those lightning orbs. When you hear the ding, pop your reflect if you got one. If you do not have one, run away from all orbs. Reflect orbs.
Well,
Once an orb turns into a dome, get into the dome, get into the dome, get into the dome. Dispel, dispel, dispel. There's 2 more buffs. Dispel, dispel, dispel. Good work. Alright, we're going to start getting Relentless Mechanics. These will be repeats of the Queensguard mechanics. First up will be lightning, or tethers to wind, non-tethers to lightning. Tethers to wind, non-tethers to lightning. Show your hold to the gunner, and then turrets on the side. And avoid North Swain's glow. We are going to the A side. Go to the A side. Tethers to wind, non-tethers to lightning. Show your hold to the gunner by 4, and then to turrets on the side. Back on the boss. Cleansing slash, astral and vuln. Feral, you're taking that second hit you evoked too early. Just cleanse Feral, cleanse Feral. Alright, Knight is dashing across the arena. We are avoiding a slash. We are getting knocked towards the A side. Get knocked towards the A side. And then we are going to the clone a D, clone a D, clone a D. That was an easy pattern. Oh, was I wrong on that? Whoops. Hey, the shields, raid wides. Alright, second super chest, hold 2-minute cooldowns. Check your head buffs. Safe square is there. Walls are both safe, Them. 5's 6 is in the corner, 7's behind, and then 5's on 3. 5's on 3, yes. March down the 4 column. March down the 4 column. Don't overrun your buff. Move back if you overran. Everyone end in the safe square, and then pot reopener.
LB is coming up.
LB3s after we get out of this. LB3s when you have it. If you need healers sacked, then go ahead and mark them. Or mark yourselves if you need to be sacked to get your party up. Spark has aggro. Next Relentless play is going to be stack up tight and bait the knight and then normal turrets. We're stacking up tight, we're hugging the knight and getting to the safe quadrant. Hug the knight on the safe side, which is the side towards the boss, hug the knight towards the boss, hug the knight towards the boss, and then dodge normal turrets. Dodge all turrets, dodge all turrets. Lightning orbs, reflect or avoid. And dispel, dispel, dispel. Get in the dome, dispel, dispel, dispel. Need more dispelling, need more dispelling.
One dispel is dead.
Dispel all those buffs. Raid wide. Alright, fourth Relentless is going to be a knockback and a bomb and pyretic or non-pyretic. Or blizzard, I mean. Knockback from the line to the bomb you need. Tethers to big, non-tethers to small. Get knockback from the line that's summoned. And then pyretic or blizzard. Tethers to big, non-tethers to small. And keep moving. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving.
If anyone can sack the marked healers, almost all of B is dead.
Yeah, someone can sack those. We have soft and rage here, so Aether Shields now. 4 now. Get those people up if you can. Aether Shield tanks, keep your Aether Shields rolling. Slot in your next Aether Shield to keep the buff up. Refresh the buff when it runs out. And keep up all the damage and healing you can. That is Enrage. Don't fall it. All right. Thank you everyone for coming.